with Siena College women's golf sophomore Mackenzie Whitney. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good. Yeah, as I was telling you, I'm very glad to talk with another New England golfer from Connecticut. You're from Massachusetts, and yeah, I went to two of your guys' events this fall. So yeah, it was pretty good to see you guys compete and all that. Can you tell me, how did the fall season go for you and your team?
It was definitely better than freshman year fall for me personally. Our first event, I finished tied for first, so that was a good way to start off. I had a lot more confidence this fall than I did last fall, so that was definitely a booster. And then with our new coach this year, he was a lot more flexible to work with us than last year's coaches. So it was just it was a lot easier to get lessons from him than last year, which definitely helped with my confidence out there on the course. So
Yeah. Can you tell me, how was this is your sophomore year?
yeah.
How was your first year of college golf, and what did you learn from your freshman year that you took into, your sophomore year now?
Definitely going into the fall semester last year, you're in college, it's a lot bigger scale than high school. You're expected to do the work first classes, and you're expected to go to class, and you're expected to balance your social life, golf, and all of that while at college. So it was last year was kind of learning how to do it, and this year still learning how to balance it all. It's still a learning process, I think.
Yeah, so I see on your team you have a lot of Massachusetts players. You have, Jillian, Margaret, and then I don't know if you play with Emily. I think she graduated last year, but
Yeah,
yeah, you guys have a lot of Massachusetts players. So did you know any of your teammates from Massachusetts before going to Siena, or not
I
really? You didn't know any of them?
did. Yeah, so that's kind of how I actually found out about Sienna, because
Okay.
back when my brother was dating Margot's best friend, she came to one of our tournaments and she told me about Sienna, and she texted Dave, our old coach, was like, I have this player from Mass who's a long ball hitter, which he liked. And she's not committed anywhere. So that's kind of how I found out. And then with Emily Nash, she grew up in the town next to mine. And
Mhm.
so she was also members at my course for 3 years, I believe. So like I knew her, I knew of her at least. We kind of grew apart growing up because she went to Elon for 2 years or 1 year, something like that, and then came to
Yeah.
Siena. So we kind of grew apart. Jillian, we all grew up playing junior golf together. So I knew of Jillian before I came here. Same with Margot. Like Margot, I knew, yes, through my brother's girlfriend, but like I also knew because we grew up playing together.
Yeah, a lot of connections from Massachusetts on your team, but ultimately, what led you to choosing Siena for college?
Our practice facilities are just amazing here. You can't really beat our practice facilities on campus. We have two trackmans, and then our golf
Yeah,
course is through the soccer fields. So it's all really close. And then I also like looked at Sacred Heart as well, and I didn't like just the team dynamic, and I wanted a smaller team. And so this coming here accomplished that for me. And I wanted a smaller school. So again, coming to Siena, it was just more appealing for what I wanted in college.
yeah. I don't know what the undergraduate population of Sacred Heart is, but I know Siena. I looked it up. It's 3,500, so pretty small school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to an even smaller school. I had only like 1,500 in Vermont. But anyway, yeah. So, you said you're from Massachusetts. You grew up in correct me if I'm wrong. You grew up in this somewhere, Westminster, Massachusetts. So what was
Yeah.
it like for you growing up in Westminster, playing golf in Massachusetts growing up? All that.
Um, like my golf course, I have members at Oak Hill, so it
Mhm.
was like 10 minutes away from my house. So it's a short trip for me. Um, but it was growing up, like I played four sports growing up my entire life until I got to high school, and then I narrowed it down to three sports. So it was kind of like I was really busy, and I had Wachusett Mountain 30 seconds down the road from me. So I was a ski racer, so I would go train there and during the weekdays, and then we go up to Vermont to ski up there. So it was kind of like I golf wasn't really my main passion growing up in Westminster. It was kind of skiing, and so that it's kind of interesting now the fact that I'm playing golf in college. When I was growing up, it was mostly I was pushing skiing. not golf.
Yeah, can you tell me more about, being a skier growing up?
Yeah, I mean, that took pretty much my entire winter. I would sometimes, when I was in middle school, freshman year of high school, I would spend the entire month of November out in Colorado training. And so it just took up pretty much all my
Okay.
time. And we would ski up in northern Vermont, like about 3 hours away on the weekend. So we drive up there every Friday night, drive home Sunday night. So it was a lot, and it definitely was expensive compared to golf. It's pretty much the same amount of money you're spending, but it was supposed to be like Ethan, my brother, was supposed to be playing golf in college, and I was kind of supposed to be the skiing aspect because I was, I guess, better at ski racing compared to my peers than he was. So it was more of an investment for my parents for me to do ski racing than it was for him for golf. So it was kind of like just an odd turn of events that I'm playing golf in college and not skiing.
So you said you would go all the way to Colorado for skiing. Can you tell me more about that from Massachusetts?
Yeah, so we would go out with one of our camps that would be at like through our mountain. So like I said,
Okay.
I grew up like I skied at Burke Mountain way up in northern Vermont. Like it's a half an hour from the Canadian border, so it's
Yeah.
a haul up there. So they would go out with the academy that is at that mountain, and they would have like it would be a training camp for 3 weeks, and you can pick the full 3 weeks, or you can do just like the week of Thanksgiving. And so I would always do the full 3 weeks, so that way, like I said, because I like growing up, it was supposed to be ski racing, so my parents were okay with me going out there for the full month, and I would get all my schoolwork, and they would have tutors out there with us, so we would train in the morning, and then we would do our schoolwork and our workouts in the afternoon with our trainers and everything.
Nice. Yeah, I've connected to both of them. My stepsister lives in Colorado, and then I went to school in Vermont, so familiar with both of those places. So you talked about your home course is Oak Hill Country Club. Can you tell me about your home course? And-
I love it. It is pretty, I mean, since I grew up playing there, I think it's pretty easy now, but it's definitely a challenge. I know we're this coming year, we're starting the master plan. So we're adding in tee boxes behind the back tees right now. So they're making the course longer, and we're adding, I think, 20 or 30 more bunkers. So it's going to be a little bit harder this year than it was in years past, but still an ongoing process to make the course a little bit longer, because now with the new technology, it's the drives are going further, and so it's kind of too easy for the men golfers there at the course too. So they definitely need to make the course a little longer.
So is it a shorter course or
It's I personally, like, I'm a longer hitter, so when I play there, I will play from the guys' tees. I won't necessarily play from the women's tees because it's not a challenge for me anymore from playing from the women's tees. So I'll go back to the blues or blacks, which I can't think of the yardage off the top of my head, but it's a challenge from the blues and blacks for me, but for like the younger golfers there, it's just too short of a course for the men.
okay? Nice. So what was it like to be the youngest club champion in Oak Hill Country Club history at age 16?
Um, well, I started out shooting my lowest round ever at the time. I went 3 under, I think, for the first round, um, which was 70, and then can't remember what I did the second round, but it was honestly a confidence booster for me, because I just going into that tournament, I'm like, I kind of had a feeling I would get first or second, just because I'm competing against women who are twice my age. So it's like I had the distance on them, and it was just kind of that first opening round. I had a huge lead, so it was just kind of like just keeping that lead, and then it felt so good. Like I remember the feeling like putting the ball in on 18. I was like, oh, I won. Like it was crazy. And then at the time I broke, I think, the lowest record for the women's club championships, but then I think I broke it this year again. So I'm not quite sure what the record is anymore for
So
that.
how many times have you won the club championship at your course? No.
This was my third time. I didn't play in it last year because the We Met was overlapping the club championship, so I couldn't play in it, but I played in it this year after our We Met.
Nice. Can you
Yeah.
tell me also about getting a hole in one on the par four ninth hole at your home course?
Yeah. We were playing, I was playing a four ball match with my partner and we were down, I think like 7 or 8 holes. And the day before I figured out that year that I can drive the green. So a couple times I would just like play around with it, like what's the line that I want to go for. And I figured it out the day before that you have to carry it over these big pine trees. And I'm like, we're down by 8 on the ninth hole. I'm like, I'll just go for the green. Like my partner, she was in the middle of the fairway, so we were fine if I sent it OB or something. So like I'll just go for it. And the pin was tucked right behind a greenside bunker, and it was on the first tier of that green. And like on the card, it says it was 282, but it's like that day I think it played like 260, 270. It was a little downwind. It's a dog leg right. And I played it up and over these pine trees, which was the perfect line. And then it kind of faded into the green, rolled above the hole, and then rolled back down on into the hole. And we could watch it from the green or from the tee box. And it was pretty special. I've never seen the women that we were playing with, again, were twice my age, and I've never seen like a 65-year-old woman jump that high for watching the ball go in. So it was pretty special, and it was a Friday night too, so that there was a lot of people there and they could hear us cheering. And then my parents were on the driving range, so they knew it was me coming down 9. So they heard us cheering, and then they were all confused and they walked over to the hole and they saw my ball in the hole. And actually one of my like mentors at the course, Sulame, she picked up she like texted me like it's in the hole. And I was like, there was a little bit of swears going on, like, but I'm not gonna say them right now. I was like, so yeah, it was a day I won't forget. It's definitely really cool. It was
So
my first,
how many hole in ones have you had, or is that your only one?
that's my only hole in one
Okay.
on a par 4. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, well, I haven't had any hole in ones. Let's see. Couple like a month ago, I holed out from 105 yards, and then last time I played, I sculled one into the water. I don't know if you remember that. It's either the second hole or the 11th hole, the par three at
Yeah.
Sacred Hearts Course. I sculled one into the water, and then I hit one to like a foot, so I got a bogey instead
That's
of a
the
birdie.
worst. That's actually the worst.
But yeah, so yeah, I've never had one, but I guess if I hit a bad shot, then I'll just hit one to like a foot. That's how it works out.
Always the second shot that works
So,
out.
you talked about the WeMet tournament, and then you also I see you playing the New England Amateur, the Massachusetts Amateur most years. So what are some tournaments that you play, outside of college?
I'll try to do all the mass events. There's so much fun, and it's like you're playing with people you've grown up playing with, so they're all
Yep.
your friends. So I'll play in all the mass events, and then there's a couple Challenge Cup events that they have a collegiate level for it, so I can still play in those, but pretty much it's only 4 or 5 tournaments I can play in anymore.
Okay. Now, what's
Yeah.
the Challenge Cup? I'm not familiar with that.
It's it's run through Dave. I can't think of his last name right now, but it can be like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. I think he has a couple events in Vermont. And so it's kind of like it's not all of New England, but we'll play a lot of tournaments in Connecticut or Rhode Island.
Cool. So can you tell me about playing golf with your older brother Ethan, who plays at Temple?
Yeah, he kills the ball right past me, and it's like it's a little unfair because sometimes we'll do a match and he'll be like, "Do you want strokes?" And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna play you straight up," and then I'll always lose by a landslide. So it's awesome watching him play because we're siblings and we might not listen to each other all the time, but when he wants to help me, he helps me a lot. This year I was struggling with my driver on how to like hit a controlled draw, and he really helped me on that because he took what he learned from his coach and he taught me how to do it, because him and I pretty much we struggle from the same thing, because I watch his swing and I'm like, okay, I need to do that better. So what he's struggling with, I often tend to struggle with too, because I'm copying kind of his swing. So it's really nice having an older brother who's a successful golfer that can help me with my swing when he wants to
Um,
help me.
yeah, nice. I also see that you play in the U.S. Women's Open qualifier each year. What is it like playing in that? And I like questions. Don't you play 36 holes in that in one day?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a long day. It's super cool though, because this year was at Duxbury, or last year it was at Duxbury. And there was a lot of pro women there, and it was just really cool watching their warm-ups and like seeing their professional caddies out there. I didn't play the best, but it's super. I think that's like an event I'm gonna play at the qualifier. I'm gonna try and qualify every year just because it's awesome and it's a great experience. It's 36 holes, which you don't get to play a lot of 36 hole events. So I don't mind the 36. You're exhausted after that day and you sleep like a baby, but I don't mind the 36, and it's always at a really nice course, so it's a good opportunity.
So can you tell me, how did you get started playing golf? What age did you begin playing, and what are some memories you have from, playing golf growing up?
Oh boy, when did I start playing golf? Let's see. Well, my dad grew up playing at Oak Hill
Mhm.
in high school. That's where his high school played. So he knew of Oak Hill, and then when my brother was 2, we became members at Oak Hill. So I guess I started playing when I was 4, maybe 5. It was kind of around the same time I started skiing too. I started golf. Um, but we just grown up playing at Oak Hill, and yeah, that's where I think I'm gonna stay for a good time.
So can you tell me, how was your junior and high school golf experience for you, growing up in Massachusetts?
So I did not play golf in high school. I was
Okay.
soccer all throughout high school. So I went 1 year in a private school and I played soccer there. And then I softball was in the spring along with their golf season. So I chose softball over golf. And then when I went back to public school, golf's in the fall, and so is soccer. So I never actually played golf in high school, but junior golf is, I mean, it's so much fun because especially in Mass, if you play golf and you're a good golfer, everyone knows who you are and you make like such good friends playing golf. Like I this year we all like Morgan Smith, Molly Smith, all the top tier golfers, we all got like really close and we all meet up to go play during the summer and we'll go do fun tournaments, just like the 5 of us or 6 of us. And so it's kind of nice growing up in Massachusetts playing golf because everyone knows everyone. Even the older women who play in the Mass events, they know who you are and they want to help you grow the program and stuff. So it's really nice playing in Mass.
Nice. So you grew up in Massachusetts. Do you do anything during the winter or off season golf related, or not really?
I'll go down to Florida for a little bit and
Okay.
for like some quick weekend trips if I have like a long weekend. But most of the time, kind of the beginning of winter is kind of my off season. Like I'll do a month and a half where I really don't touch a club that much. Like maybe I'll touch a club twice in 2 weeks or something. But winter is kind of skiing for me, and it's still big. Skiing's still a big part of my life. So I'll go up to we have a house over at Stratton, which is about an hour away. So I'll go there some weekends and ski because it's been a huge part of my life, so I kind of don't want to give it up yet. And it helps with distance. My legs get stronger with skiing, so it helps golf.
Yeah, I've never skied before, but we have a place in Vermont, maybe like 30 minutes from Killington. I don't know if you know
Oh, okay.
the skiing. I always
Yeah.
try to tell my parents I want to go skiing one winter, but they're too worried about me skiing. They think I'll like break my leg or something.
Oh, it's fun. You just point them straight and hope that you stop. That's
I've never skied. I've never even put on skis before.
okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Arizona, but been living here in Connecticut for about 5, 6 years.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll get to ski one of these days. So you shot the low score at the 2021 New England Junior Amateur Girls Championship. Can you tell me about that tournament?
Yeah, I believe if my memory serves, it was a team event, and I think I tied the next day with one of my teammates. And so it was her and I in a playoff. She won the playoff, but it was Mass still won as a team. So it was kind of nice. Like, even though I got second, we still won as a team. And then it was a fun event because it was like you were only with Team Mass and your parents weren't with you. And it was Team Mass, Connecticut, I think New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and there was a couple other states there. And we all would go to this golf course and you'd stay at the hotel with your team. your parents wouldn't be there, and you get to really get close because it's a guys and girls event. So that's how I met some there's a mass guy here who plays here, Dan Brooks, that's how I kind of met him first, was at that event. And so it was nice like having the guys there too. And during the playoff, like they all came out, every team came out to watch us play. We kept playing, I think it was 18-1, just on like rotating. We went 5 or 6 holes, just those holes, and everyone was still cheering us on. But it was nice. That was a fun tournament. I wish I still could do junior events because that was one that I definitely loved.
So something interesting else I see is that your team you had your conference championship at Disney, I believe, in April. So correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think you played at Disney's golf course for your conference championship. That
Yeah.
seems unique. Can you tell me about what that was like in April?
It was definitely warm.
Hmm.
It was super fun because the last round they had it on TV, so that was fun. That was a good
Okay.
experience. Um, it's Disney. I mean, it's a magical place. I wish we could go to Disney because a couple years before I came to Siena, Mac would give tickets to every team to go to Disney after the practice round, which would have been fun. But at the end of the day, you're exhausted from walking these holes, and you're in Florida, so it's warm out. But it's a easy course. I think it's Florida golf, so you're not heading down a hallway on any of the holes. It's just a lot of water there. So I definitely am excited for this year's championships because I think we're at the course that they just redesigned, which will be definitely interesting because that one we played the easier course last year because they were designing, I think it was Magnolia, and now Magnolia's done. So I think we're playing there this year.
Well, maybe you'll get to do some things like go to the park
I hope so.
outside of playing golf, but I know golf is the priority when you're down there in April
Exactly.
for the conference championship. If you What would be the next steps? Let's say you won your conference championship. What would you get from winning the conference championship, or would you just get a nice shiny trophy?
You go to the NCAA championships, which the boys won as a team last year. So they all went, I think it was Arizona, and they
Okay.
played as a team, which it was like 110 for them there. And it was just miserable from the pictures I saw. It just looked terrible. But if you win as an individual, you'll still go to the NCAA championships, but you'll go to the NCAA championships for like individuals.
Hopefully, maybe you'll end up on top this year.
Hopefully, yeah.
Um, yeah, I have two more questions. So as a college golfer, can you just take me through, what a typical day is like from you all the way from when you wake up to when you go to sleep at night?
Yeah, so Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I have class at 9:10. So I'll get up 8 o'clock, I'll get ready, go to that class. And then in the fall, when we're still in season, I would go practice in between my classes because I had probably 3 or 4 hours in between my classes. So I would go and just practice for as long as I could at their course. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have 7 a.m. lift. So I'd get up for that, go to lift, then go to my classes. And then I would practice in between my English class and my forensics class, which was only an hour and a half in between. So that would kind of be Tuesdays and Thursdays would be my short game day where I would just spend the majority of the time putting and chipping at our facilities at the course. And then I would somehow get my homework done in between all of that. I didn't really have
Um,
a set schedule for homework, but
nice. I have three more
yeah.
questions I just thought of. One is, what's your does your team have a home course, and if so, what is your home course?
So it's Skylar Meadows,
Okay.
but we're trying to get a tournament there because it's a good course. It's a hard course for the area, and it's a really nice course, and there's not a lot of members that play there during the weekday. So we could get a tournament there. I know the guys have some cup event, which it's only them and another team. But if we could do like we do the dual event, us versus UAlbany, if we get it at Skylar one year, that would be fun.
Then my next to last question is, what are you studying in college, and what do you hope to do? I know you're only a sophomore, but what do you hope to do, after college?
So I'm an English and education major, so I'm trying to be a teacher. I would love to teach high school English or elementary ed, which they don't offer here at school. So I would have to get certified in high school education and then go back for elementary ed, but hoping to be a teacher if I don't do anything with golf. But golf's kind of my main focus, and then teacher's kind of my backup, I guess.
So yeah, finally you've been at Siena now for a year and a half, basically. So how has your year and a half been so far at Siena?
So much fun. Yeah. It's a lot of work at first, but then once you settle down and it's just, you find amazing friends here. It's a small school, so you pretty much you'll see everyone on campus, and it's a small enough school that nothing's too far, and I absolutely love it here. This was a perfect fit for me, so
Yeah.
can't complain.
What are some of your favorite memories, playing with your teammates, and yeah, what's been your favorite thing, playing and representing Siena?
Favorite memories, oh boy. Off the top of my head, I do not know what I mean, last year we would like sing in the van with Dave, and he just put his like both his headphones in, and he'd tell us like we're terrible singers, we should stick to golf. But some of my favorite memories are just dumb moments that we all do. So like it's pretty much everything that my team does are pretty good memories.